She had the kind of voice that didn't just carry a melody, it carried people. Across radios, war zones, stages, and borders that technically banned her. Yet behind the fame of Where the Boys Are, behind the perfect vowels and polished records, was a woman who never stopped engineering the unseen. Connie Francis was born Concetta Rosa Maria Franco Nero in Newark, New Jersey in 1937. By the age of 17, she was already ghost singing for actresses in films, providing the vocals for Tuesday Weld in the 1956 movie Rock, 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 while still finishing high school. 2 years earlier, she dubbed the singing voice of Jane Mansfield in The Sheriff of Fractured Jaw. Her name never appeared in the credits, but her voice played through theaters nationwide. At a time when image sold and vocal talent hid behind it, she was both essential and invisible. For a moment, she thought chemistry might actually be her path. She enrolled at New York University with that exact major. She later admitted it sounded smart. But within months, she walked away to chase her first record deal. It was the right bet. By 1958, she had a #1 hit. By the early 1960s, her name topped the charts in 15 countries. What most fans did not know is how personal her career stayed, even as it went global. She personally managed one of America's earliest music fan clubs. She opened every letter, and she wrote back. Her team launched a quarterly newsletter with behind-the-scenes notes, family recipes, and tour updates. This became a model used later by Elvis Presley's handlers and the Beatles' Apple Corps, and eventually even Taylor Swift's modern fan operations, the template she started in Connie's kitchen. And then came the borderless part of her career. During the Cold War, her voice slipped past the Iron Curtain. Her German and Russian language recordings were copied illegally onto acetate discs in East Germany, sometimes cut into discarded medical x-rays roughly 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters wide. It was a pirate medium known as Bones Records. Songs like Die Liebe ist ein seltsames Spiel. Love is a strange game. They were heard by millions who never saw her face. Shortwave broadcasts carried her into homes from Poland to Siberia, even though Western music was officially banned. But she also sang for those wearing boots and carrying rifles. Connie performed through the Vietnam War for U.S. troops. In 1968, during a volatile moment near Da Nang, rising tensions between two battalions were diffused when she took the stage and started singing God Bless America. Officers on the ground later testified that her voice prevented an outbreak of violence. For those soldiers, it wasn't just a song. It was home. She was later awarded the Silver Medal of Merit by the Department of Defense, an honor rarely ever given to citizens. Then came the quieter battle against the very company that made her a household name. In 1974, she sued MGM Records for control of her master recordings. She argued that contracts signed when she was underage were exploitative. It was a rare move at the time. She won partial rights, laying legal groundwork cited years later in high-profile disputes over artistic ownership. When Prince fought Warner Brothers, and when George Michael took on Sony, lawyers pointed to Connie's case as early precedent. She planted the flag. But believe it or not all of her adjustments were public. After surviving a brutal assault that same year, she worked with designers to reconstruct her stage wear. Her gowns, they looked glamorous under the lights, but but they were secretly reinforced with cut-proof lining made from nylon Kevlar fabric less than 1/8 inch or 3.2 millimeters thick. Hidden hooks were sewn into the sleeves, allowing the garment to tighten or detach instantly if grabbed. She never spoke of the design, but her security team knew. So did the seamstresses who called it Hollywood armor. And she never stopped giving. In the late 1980s, she quietly funded autism research at a time when few celebrities would touch the subject. She did it under the name Conchetta Enterprises. The recipient? A startup program at Rutgers University, now a leading center for sensory integration therapy. She even planned the end. In the 1990s, she commissioned her own tombstone. It featured a beautiful granite musical staff with measures from her Italian language hit, Mama. And below that, an inscription she wrote herself. She gave us music. She gave us strength. She gave us herself. And she nearly lived to see it installed. Connie Francis passed away July 17th, 2025, in Florida at the age of 87. She didn't fade out. In her final year, a TikTok trend brought her 1962 B-side, Pretty Little Baby, back to the charts. Teenagers danced to her voice without knowing her name, but she heard it. Nurses say she requested that song each night in her hospital room. One of them quoted her last reaction to the trend. "They'll think I'm a new artist again." She wasn't just America's sweetheart. She was the sound of survival, ingenuity, and uncredited brilliance. A voice behind the curtain. A fighter behind the music. A woman who never stopped adapting, quietly inventing systems other stars would later copy. These are Interesting Things with JC.